Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another review. Today we're looking at the Emil 1 Tier 8 Swedish heavy tank. As always, let's start with an Armour. We start off with a 100mm upper plate, 125mm lower plate, angled both around 50 degrees. Gives you pretty decent protection. I mean, this can bounce tier 5s and shit, tier 5s and even 6s quite reliably with the hull even. And when you do use your gun depression, the upper plate gets ridiculous armor. It gets quite a lot of armor here, so even tier 9s and 10s can struggle to pen your hull in a good angle. When we come to the turret, this is not as good as it is on an Emil 2, and not like you would really expect it to be. The flattest zone you're gonna get is around 220. It's actually 180 armor angled to various degrees. But effective armor is going to be from like 220 to like 240, 250, something like that. So it is pretty good at tier 8. Tier 9s and 10s will not really struggle to pen this turret, but tier 8s and below that will definitely have their word cut out in order to pen this tank. Whenever you're not looking directly at your enemies though, with this turret it gets pretty weak. As you can see, there's some 150s on, so you need to face the dude shooting you or your turret is not going to be very effective. When it comes to cupolas or anything like that, there's none of that bullshit here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Side armor, you get 20. It's flat. The tracks do block it off quite well, so overmatches aren't that common in this, but you don't really side scrape with this either. These zones here are actually pretty strong, so nobody wants to really shoot these either. But generally your sides is nothing to really brag about, or, well, generally they're just pretty terrible, so, you know, side scraping is gonna mean that you're gonna lose hit points pretty much there. That is what I have to say about that, unless they shoot your turret, which they could definitely do, and then you might be still happy. Anyways, let's get into the replay. So here's the replay playing on Overlord, but as always, let's go through the stats before the action hits the fan. Alright, comparing it to a 5100 as they are the two only tier 8 heavy tanks with autoloaders. So we start off with 1400 hit points, 360 meter view range, top speed forwards 50, backwards 16, power to weight of 13.19, strength to burst of 31.29, soft stats pretty, well, kind of what you would expect from a tank like this, exactly the same as on the 5100. Gun elevation 15, gun depression 12, turret burst of 20.86. When we come to the gun, we get 1846 DPM, 320 damage per shot, 217 penetration. Reload time of the mag is around 30 seconds with decent crew and equipment. Clip size is 4, in between shot reload is 3 seconds, aiming time of 3.1, accuracy 0.36. Stuff that's slightly worse than on the 5100, and they are pretty bad actually on the 5100 already. And the shot velocity is pretty good. The gun depression is 12 to the front and the sides and 9.5 to the back. Alright, so we did unload the first clip. We did hit 2 bulldog shots and missed the other 2 shots miserably. One thing you can instantly notice in this replay as well is how bad generally the gun handling is on this tank. And I do have a bad crew in this. It can get better. I think I have 6 cents on this, but not much more. I might not actually have 6 cents. I don't think I actually have 6 cents. So my crew is really bad on this, so your gun handling is gonna get slightly better if you put some more time into this tank, but still, the gun handling is the biggest downside of this tank by far. And as you can see, this clip was pretty good. Close range, 217 pen, was able to pen the OHO reasonably well, and the 4 shots of 320 per, 320 damage per shot is a pretty good level for an autoloader. It lets you clip a lot of lower tiers, and it lets you do a significant amount of damage to higher tier tanks as well, without really having to be stuck with that 45-second reload of the 5100. Unlike with the 5100 in this tank, you can afford to aim a bit more though, as you do have that turret armor. It will save you from most tier 8s, some tier 9s even, and generally every tier 7 and below. It's gonna be really hard for your enemies to pen you unless they have 250 pen or something around that area. So this tank could definitely stand its own ground much better. It still is an autoloader, so there's still obviously the limitation of being only able to shoot 4 times before having to fuck off, and this is not a smart position to be in. because if I get spotted, I'm gonna get shot in the side, possibly by a 704. And here we do nail the super pushing shot for 385, but now I should definitely fuck off, as I do not have 6th sense, but I do get lucky. That was not a good peek though, and I should have gotten punished for it. But with a turret as good as this, you can bounce some higher tier and higher pen guns as well. You just gotta be a bit lucky with that. And now they're always pushing up on the lower road. Well, our team finally spots the 704. The T-32's play is just like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's probably gonna die for it, and we should be able to pick up the Oho. He fired recently as well. I'm not gonna take any chances here. I'm just gonna go to his side and make sure that I pen my shot. The T-32 dies to the 704. And we should be able to clean up, well, we should try to at least clean up the beach, but again, with this gun, shooting an IS-3 at that range is going to be really tricky, and we might actually go for something else instead. The 12 degrees of gun depression is pretty ridiculous as well. It lets you remain hull down in pretty much all scenarios, unless you're just ignoring tanks that you think you won't be able to hurt properly. And yeah, this gun handling is just by far the worst part about this tank. It just makes this a bit more frustrating than you would want it to be. And look how long we have to aim to just hit that shot, and of course we get sniped by the IS-3 there, because he obviously doesn't have any accuracy or aiming time problems, of course. But yeah, we're gonna go for another reload, not like we really have a chance. We might go for something else. The IS-3 shots are terrible, and since he's showing his entire side armor, aka angling, we can't pen him properly there. So we're gonna go probably for one of his friends here. Maybe we'll shoot him if we get a good shot on him, but we're more keen to kill his buddies first. The 704 cannot reach me, so that is good. We should be able to get that D34 here, or the IS-3, I don't really care. He shouldn't be able to spot me, and I do need to nail these shots, or we're just gonna waste a lot of time. That was really good. We tracked him as well. We nailed the second one as well, so this mag is going much better than the previous one. He dies before I can shoot the third one, but the third one misses horribly anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. We do put one into the T-34. We're already at around 4k damage. This tank isn't like the DPM monster, but for an autoloader, the DPM is definitely not bad, and having that smaller mag makes it a bit more usable as well. It's not as situational as the gun is on the 5100. Now we're chilling here because I have a feeling that this T-34 is gonna still be alive by the time I am loaded. So we're just gonna wait here and see if I can finish him off. He does take an HE from an OHO, and now we should be able to just track him and finish him off. But somebody else does that for us. So now the question is, on 3 shots, do we reload or not? And at this point I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? There's nothing really threatening around me, at least there shouldn't be. The T-29 could have moved up, the 704 should still be camping, and we're just gonna try to see if we can spot the T-29, as that is our easiest target to kill. It would be nice to get rid of him, and he could also be making some plays here in the middle, so we just gonna check the middle of the map here in order to make sure that we can't get flanked. Another limiting factor to this tank is that 360 view range. In a situation like this, I really wish I had the optics or binos, but optics don't really make a lot of sense, because out of 360 you're gonna get like 390 view range, and that's still really not worth having the optics. With a better crew, maybe you can justify optics, but even then you're probably gonna pass on that and go for the usual heavy tank equipment choices of vents, bird stab, and as this is an autoloader, you put a gun link drive instead of a rammer. Now we did make our peak. I'm not sure if I got spotted, obviously has no 6th sense, and we couldn't spot anything back either. Peeking again here. Our team does spot the Ferdinand, and I need them not to die very quickly. I need to know where the 704 is, and now we do. And this is this like removes all the danger element from the game. I cannot really be like murdered by the T-29, so as long as we know where the Ferdinand and the 704 is, we should be able to just drive up on them and see if we can execute them. The 704 is laying hurt on that super Pershing, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't get shit on, but for now we are safe. That is the most important part. We still don't know where the T-29 is, but it's not that relevant at this time. We might be able to pick up the Ferdinand or sneak up on the 704, but that sneaking up part is not going to happen. I don't want to shoot that shot. I don't want to stop in the field either. T-29 could pen me here if he gets the aim off in time, and he does exactly that. a bit unfortunate for me. And now the Ferdinand kind of has fucked up. He's in the middle of the open and covered from 2 angles, and we still managed to miss him somehow in the side. We do pick up the next 2 though, and he gets killed by my teammates. Now the 704 is trying to rush me, which is definitely the right play for him to do, but he cannot really make it in time. So we are able to run away. Gonna reload as well. Could have been greedy and tried to trade with him, but we're just gonna go for a reload and push around to pick up the T29 and then hopefully the 704 as well. The playstyle of this tank is pretty damn simple. You always want to go hull down, always. And you want to make sure that you don't sit in the open against tanks that can just flat out pen your turret, like, you know, any tier 9s and stuff like that. You generally do not want to sit there. If they can pen you, you should be trying to peekaboo and fuck off after every shot, because the 3-second in between is way too long. Unless you have them trapped, unless they fired, unless you know they cannot really pen you back, you should definitely go for the stare down and just try to aim your shots as much as possible. We do get to pick up the T29, and that is the last that I'm gonna do in this game, so let's cut to the end plates. Alright, so here's the end plate. Ace Tanker, 6,525 experience with the double. We get a Confederate, we did 4,927 damage, assisted for 436, picked up 3 kills and 1,450 base XP. Alright, to sum up, the Emil 1 is a pretty damn good tank. At least it has a lot of potential to be pretty damn good. It kind of gets ruined a bit by the absolute potato gun handling, but that's kind of what you expect when you get that much turret armor on an auto-loading heavy with a 12-degree gun depression. It's very strong in hull down play, obviously. The slight lack of pen, the lack of view range does limit its capabilities, and it does need a decent team in order to perform well. But that being said, the tank does have a lot of potential and it can do really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review on it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.